When tragedy strikes, especially something like a mass shooting, we try and look for answers. Why did this person do this?
Arthur Gallant lives with mental illness. He speaks about it publicly in hopes of breaking down misconceptions, particularly those around violence.
People with mental illness don't just go out and shoot people. People with mental illness don't go out and stab people. It's actually a lot more emotional than that.
In Faisal Hussein's case, his family made the connection to depression and psychosis, a serious mental state that can cause a person to lose touch with reality.
Hearing voices that aren't there, or seeing things that other people don't see, or they may have fixed false beliefs or what we call delusions.
As head of psychiatry at Sunnybrook Hospital, Ari Zaretsky says severe mental illness is connected to a higher likelihood of violence, but only when it goes untreated.
If you treat that illness, so in other words, if you treat the psychosis, if you treat a person with schizophrenia so that their symptoms are under better control, if you treat a person with bipolar disorder who might be manic, and control those symptoms, then they are no more likely than the general population to perpetrate a violent act.
Kevin Cameron helps families and organizations look for warning signs of violence.
One of the most painful things that we identified years ago is that the majority of people who kill for a cause, that there is a reason for it. At best, and I'm talking at best, about 25% of the mass killing cases we see major mental illness was a variable, but a variable not the primary contributor to risk.
Instead, Cameron says a greater risk comes when multiple factors pile up.
What we do see is all these other variables, childhood trauma, family dysfunction, maybe drug and alcohol abuse, relationship issues also merging.
Gallant worries that when tragedies like Sunday's are linked to mental illness, his advocacy work takes a step backwards.
What I want to encourage everyone to do is keep talking. Let's drown out those voices that say people with mental illness are violent.
And fight against stigma that could prevent someone else from seeking treatment they need. Jacqueline Hansen, CBC News, Toronto.
And a sad note on this story to pass along now. Just minutes ago, the Toronto Police Service released the identification of the second person killed in the Danforth shooting. Juliana Kozis of Markham, Ontario, just outside Toronto, was just 10 years old. Now, as we know, the other victim has been publicly identified, and we're talking about mental well-being. Well, that was a concern for students at Malvern Collegiate. Reese Fallon, the 18-year-old woman killed in the attack, graduated from there in the spring.
So today we've brought out 15 of our therapy dog teams. It's really incredible to see the difference that a short visit with the dog can have with somebody. It really relieves stress, it puts smiles on their faces, gives them something nice to think about, even if it's for a short period of time.
Reese Fallon's former teachers remembered her incredible spirit and her ambition to help others.
She was so excited to be accepted into the McMaster program for nursing. I know that her plan was to become a mental health nurse.
We decided to put the GoFundMe up to raise some money to give to future graduates, and just be able to tell Reese's story in the future, so graduating classes would hear about her and hear that name, and that her name wouldn't fade away.
More than $25,000 had been raised by this evening. Small comfort for friends still shocked by the loss.
So just 2 nights before the shooting, you saw her?
Yes, I did. Yeah, it's hard to think about that now, but, it was good to be able to see her before she went.
Yeah.
And just have that memory.